Hello and welcome to Scott's Garage. Well, I know it doesn't look like we're in the garage today. We're here at the drafting table station, which also doubles as Puzzle Station Zebra. But really, the real purpose of this desk when I got it was to use during drafting. But then it became kind of really convenient for puzzles. But this is the real purpose of it. When I'm working on a project from a magazine where they kind of have a plan and they have some detailed drawings, I kind of try to work from those. But when I don't have a drawing and it's something that I just come up with out of my head, then I usually like to sit down and make a drawing. Sometimes that's just on a yellow sheet of paper and I just jot some things down if it's simple. Other times I get pretty involved and make a whole drawing. And let me show you what I come up with. And what this is a tambour clock or a mantel clock. You know, on your mantel, and you might have above a fireplace or something, kind of a curvy clock with the works in the center. And so I drew up this design that I'd like to build. It starts with it's several pieces, two little blocks on the bottom that are 3.5 inches wide by half of that, which is 1.75 inches. Then you have a base plate, which is 3.5 inches wide as well by about 11.75. Then you have the main clock holder, which is smaller. It's only about 1.75 inches, 1.5 inches thick, and about 4 inches high. So I thought that kind of worked good. That scale sort of worked good with the size of the clock face that I bought on Amazon. And I think that should look pretty nice. And I can show you the Amazon, the price of this. I think it was like $10 or something. It wasn't very expensive, and I thought it was really pretty. And I started off where I was going to make it out of this piece, and I had a couple of different designs here that I did. And this is a nice new piece of wood, and I thought, well, rather than do that and waste this piece of wood, why don't I use the offcut from the center of my shop stool, which was about this thick. It was about 1.5 inches thick, and it was really nice hardwood. So I'll show you that when we get in the garage. I was able to draw 3 of these within that one shape, and cut one out, and we'll show you how it works there. And then I also made some templates here, so I can reproduce it in other places. And so anyway, it works really good, and I think I'm pretty happy with my design. Let's just peel it up from the table, and we'll go out to the garage, and we'll see if we can make this happen. Okay, so the first thing that I want to cut on this is I want to make this cut right here. It was cut with a jigsaw, so it's not really very even, but I want to cut right along there, and we can play along with my new cutter. So then my challenge is how do I clamp this down?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that doesn't work. But I think that works. That's good. And then I think I'll cut this part out with the jigsaw. Alright, so we're trying something a little bit different this time. I was thinking about kind of how like the new Yankee Workshop and Norm Abram and how he does stuff. Usually he'll make a prototype, what he calls a prototype, which is kind of making it one time, and then he uses that for measurements and to show people things, and then he goes ahead and makes the actual project. So I thought I would kind of do that. So I have this prototype that I sort of pieced together, which I thought came out pretty nice. And I can sort of go off of this and show you what I'm doing. But this is what we're going to make. We're going to make 2 more of these. So you already saw me do the first step of truing up the bottom part. And now we're going to just separate the 2 pieces from this piece of scrap blank that I used for the center of my chair. I'm sort of getting used to the shop stool a little bit. It took me some getting used to, but I'm like, okay, I kind of like it. So, you gotta change with the times. Out with the old, in with the new. I still can't part with my old stool though. I think it's gonna have to just stick around as like a spare in case this one, catches fire and bursts into flames or something. I can go to the old one. But anyway, it's the seat is a little springy, but it seems to be staying in place. I'm sitting on it, and it's not doing anything. So I think it's good. All right. So next step, we are going to cut this piece because we have 1, 2. We're going to cut these free from the blank, and we're going to do that with the jigsaw. Okay, that makes it a little easier to see. Let me reinforce that line a bit. And I've kind of switched to this mechanical pencil, which I like. Found it in the drawer, and I was like, oh, let's do that. Okay, so here's my idea. If I just take that line and match it up with the inside of the kerf, and then kind of this one right here, the same thing. Okay, so I put a couple of screws there, and I think that'll hold it down. I'm not sure that's the best way to do it, but that's the way I'm doing it. There we go, nice straight line. I like it. You can actually squeeze it together. So once this piece is all cut out, I'm going to have to re-glue and clamp this again. I'm going to use this piece of wood for the 2 base pieces. So they're a little bit less than a foot long. So I'm just going to cut this to 24, and that'll allow me to have enough to make 2 pieces. I do have to rip this as well, so let's get started on that. So I can put this big piece away for some other project. And then I can take this and we can go back to the prototype and see exactly how wide we need to make this. If we look at the plan here, we can kind of see the thickness of this base piece. I probably deviated a little bit from the plan, from my drawing here. I think I deviated a little bit when I was making this, so I probably want to not go off the plan, but go off of my prototype here. And, 3 inches will be fine. Let's make it at 3. It'll be easier. Okay, so let's just rip this to 3 inches. And I didn't even measure the blade. I just set it on here. It's really not that critical. But let's get a push stick though. I think that's pretty good. I'll buy that. So then we need to cut to length those 2 pieces. You can do that over here on the chop saw. Let's measure our prototype here. I think the base is supposed to be 11 3/4. What's this thing? No. Yeah, it's supposed to be 11 3/4. I made this 11 1/4, and I think that will be fine. Okay, 11 1/4 right here. Nice. Okay, I have two of these. I can probably run these through the sander to kind of take off some of these saw marks. But that side looks good. Okay, I've only had this sled for a short period of time, and I already found a use for it. I can just match that right up with the inside of the saw blade and go to town. So, so let's see how accurate this is. Half inch. It's supposed to be half inch. That is pretty darn close. Love it. Anything that's within a few thousandths, man. I'm all over that. So we got this. It's okay, this little bump here, because the clock fits in there and the bezel covers it. But we do have to smooth this out, which I'll do that on the drum sander up there. But looking pretty good. Went ahead and flattened that out to get ready for it to be assembled. Think it's coming along pretty nice.
Early the next morning.
All right, so what we've got so far here is this was left to dry overnight. I think that's kind of a neat fixture, the way that sort of sits there, or you can sit it like this. Either way is fine. So what I did is I finished the bottom, glued these blocks on, then I centered this top part onto the base, and we just clamped that and glued that, and that's dry. And then I put a couple of screws in there just to screw this whole thing together. Those are dry as well. I can sand these off, and we can sign this. I think the rest of this, it's a little bumpy and lumpy. I'm just going to do this by hand until we're just about ready for finish. Look at the back of that. That's beautiful. So our prototype here, I put the first coat of finish. I'm going to give it a quick light sand with some 320. And I think that came out really nice. Then we'll do probably one more coat. All right, so the next thing we want to do is take this other unit off. We did this, that looks really good. These are ready to be sanded off. And again, I'll just do some hand sanding, and then we'll start the finish process. All right, so I have some 320. Just light sand. Seen me do this many times before. And then we'll give it another coat of polyurethane. Okay, I've got that all scuffed up. Yes, scuffed up isn't the right word. Maybe smoothed out. Smoothed out. Just kind of going over it with my hand, looking for any rough spots, and it all feels very smooth. So let's put another coat on there, and we'll continue on. Looking good. My prototype is all complete, and that's done. Then these other two, the bottom side is complete. That's the second coat of finish, so it's nice and smooth. And I'm just putting on some feet here. Not measuring or anything, just putting them somewhere. And then the next thing I need to do is give this a light sand with 320 and one more coat. Maybe another coat after that might work. I'm not sure. We'll check and see how it looks after that. And we put a nice feet on there. This is looking beautiful. I'm kind of liking my stool a little bit. Takes me a little bit to get used to it, but I kind of like it. So then we're going to pull this off. And it is currently, computer, what's the time currently?
It's 10:56 a.m.
Okay, and I'm going to do what you're not supposed to do, which is turn a clock backwards. 10 what? Computer, what was the time again?
It's 10:57 a.m.
Ah, so right about there. 10:57. They're going to go like right in there. I think they'll fit nicely. Okay. I have my works synchronized. And so now I'm just going to give this a quick sand with some 320. And we'll put another coat on it. You see me do that a lot of times. And we'll be back when it's done. Okay, so this has had a chance to dry. All the surfaces have had several coats of polyurethane. It's nice and smooth. I like the way the pieces are joined together here. You can see the separate pieces of wood here that are all glued together to make this. And then yesterday we put the battery in the clock and got that all running. And so it's just a matter of pushing this in there and then finding a nice mantle to put this on. I think that's great. I like the way it came out. Okay, well, I think that just about does it for Scott's Garage for the Tambour mantle clock project. I hope you had a good time watching it. I had a great time making this, and it was fun. And we'll see you next time on Scott's Garage. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.